finally time to bring you the Women Off-Road Warriors podcast. Join myself, April, along with Chrissy and Lily each week for a lot of fun and a whole lot of adventure and some education as we journey into the off-road with women constantly on the move in the industry. We'll delve into all aspects of life on the beaten path. This is one podcast you aren't going to want to miss. So together, we're here to share our experiences, learn from each other, and build an incredible off-road community. Whether you're a seasoned trailblazer or just getting started, this podcast is for you. So buckle up, grab your favorite trail snack, and let's hit the dirt. Welcome to Women Off-Road Warriors, the podcast where women take the wheel and conquer the trails. So here are my two co-hosts, Lily and Chrissy. Lily, kind of tell us how you got into the off-road industry, maybe a little bit about your rig, and exactly what inspired you to start off-roading.
Hey guys. Well, I've been wanted to have a Jeep. I didn't do anything to it. It was completely stuck. And it was like a sport. I loved it. And after that's when I started doing a little more of Instagram. And the reason why I started like on the Instagram community is because I remember the first time I posted something on my personal Facebook account, and I was so excited about my Jeep. Nobody cared. So I was looking for a community that, was excited about Jeeps too. And that's when I realized, I'm going to create an Instagram account for my Jeep. Yeah, there was a lot of people that were into Jeeps, they were excited about it. And that's kind of how I got started. First time I was on the trail and I was behind the wheel. That was in North Carolina. And the trails that you hit, April, was that Uwari?
Yes, Uwari. Yeah, Uwari.
Use that name. But yes, first time I hit a trail, it was in North Carolina and Uwari. And I remember that I was really, really, really afraid. It was like a rock like this. And I was freaked. We didn't know had experience or knowledge. We didn't know anything about airing down, disconnecting sway bars or anything like that. So, obviously going to trails without disconnecting the sway bar is very dangerous. So I did that even though the rock was this big. But that was my first experience off-roading in North Carolina. And it was with Jeep Wrangler, and it was a sport. I think the only thing I had on it was like 35s. No, actually, no, 33s. Because I remember 35s were huge. So that was like kind of my first experience. What else?
That's good. I can definitely appreciate Uwari and having the experience with smaller tires and then finally, building that up. So, yeah. How about you, Chrissy?
Mine's actually kind of by accident, to be honest. So, but much like Lily, I always loved Jeep since I was little. I don't know. I think it just feels like it represents freedom and like just the ability to explore places that most people wouldn't. So obviously I want that. So
right.
After doing the mom thing for a while, I was like, well, it's time. We got my Jeep. And then, honestly, I had my Instagram set to private. I was mostly just doing family stuff. And I had a few Jeep things on there. And then I made my Instagram public to share a hiking post, actually, from the hike that we did in Virginia for the hashtag for it. And one of my Jeep posts got reshared by, one of the very first pages from back in the day, you guys. And that's when other people started sharing it. And so this is a thing. I didn't even know. I had no idea. So I ended up, because I started getting random people following me, what in the world? So I ended up wiping all my family stuff off there. Just I didn't want people looking at my kids, and what's going on. So then I just started and then I worked with 4x4 America was the very first company. It was, hey, do you want to rep for me? And then it's just kind of uphill from there. It's honestly was purely accident for me. I never set out to try to do any of this.
I completely get that. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of did the same thing happened to me as well. I just kind of shared a post on Instagram and it just kind of went from there. And so I'm like, wow, this is a thing. And didn't even realize, that there was an entire off-road community, and then just found family and friends and, just so many people that had similar interests and goals that I did I didn't know existed before, I guess you'd say, the social media world. So, you got the Jeep waves on the road, but then social media just kind of opened up the entire world, so to speak. So that's definitely been interesting. And I guess that brings us to exactly, why are we starting this podcast? I guess for y'all, what does this podcast mean for women?
Okay, well, for me, more than anything, I feel like, through the years that I've been on social media, I think I've been doing social media for about 5 years. And I feel like the community has been changing a lot. And before, I really appreciate having a group of female community group that was there to support and help us when I was little in the Jeep community, when I was trying to learn. And also beginning in the Jeep industry, I didn't know anything. And a lot of times people, they're afraid to ask. And so I feel like putting ourselves out there, because we already went through all of that, is going to help other female drivers go out there and try to experience it. Or if they really have like any questions, a good environment for them to come and ask or share their experiences. So that's what it drives me to do it. Be out there sharing my experience and teaching others kind of like because I'm not an expert. I'm still learning too.
Same.
But at this time, I've been through a lot. So
I agree definitely with all that. How about for you, Chrissy?
I second Lily as well. And I mean, having, experience working with companies in this industry too, I think it's, I can bring a little bit more insight to what companies look
Definitely.
for. I've worked with you ladies through both companies that I've
Right.
worked for now. So, together, I think we can all offer some insight for people. And I think also too, I've always just been really honest about my struggles, my anxiety, my chronic illness, how I deal with it when we're out there, things that have helped me get over my anxiety, my issues, to be able to go out there and try the hard stuff that I want to be able to say that I can do, So, I mean, I know I can't be the only one who's scared to get out there and start. If I can offer any kind of assistance or help or inspiration that, hey, like you could do this, then I always want to be able to give that back because it was given to me throughout my steps. So I feel like it's definitely important to give that to the next person coming up.
I completely agree. And I think you hit the nail on the head with being authentic is what I would say. Just, letting other women know, hey, we no one gets on the trail and it's just a professional automatically. I mean, you have to work at it. And every trail is a new experience. There's an obstacle that, you might be scared to do. The same as life. It's just every day brings something different and new. So just to have a community of ladies that are working together and trying to build that community while off-roading is definitely fun and empowering, so to speak.
So we are actually very excited to have guests over, and we're going to have female drivers, and it's about all the industry. You don't necessarily have to be driving a Jeep to be invited
Right.
to you this podcast. We have some ideas of what ladies we want to invite.
Yeah.
So if you really want to join, you can communicate with us and let us know if you have something to share. And we're going to try to organize and schedule for you. But we're going to be inviting more female drivers for them to share their experiences. You guys are going to get to know us better, to know
Yes.
me, Chrissy, and April. If you have any questions about us or, what roles are we going to be running or anything, you can always message us and we can talk about it here in the podcast.
Yes, definitely, which sounds great. And then as far as our first discussion topic, Chrissy, tell us about overcoming the fear of getting started and kind of, experiences and that sort of thing.
So are we talking about overcoming the fear of getting started off-road or on Instagram?
I would say off-road, but it could lead into Instagram as well, if that's your thing, but definitely getting started in the off-road industry.
Well, getting started in the industry, I think it's so important to know what you want out of this experience too. Like, I found my way through it eventually, but I think if I would have known what I was going into this for, I think I could have not made so many bumps along the way. So I think,
Same.
if you have bought a Jeep and you are looking like, what, what trails do you want to run? Like, what kind of groups do you want to be in? Like, I think that matters because I think you can go in different directions. Are you an overlander? Are you rock crawler? Do you like mud? Because then I think it also matters, what companies you're going to work with, because you might want different things that maybe you wouldn't do for an overland vehicle or for something that you're just going to be mudding in. So I think like really have a concrete idea of what it is that you're wanting to build, where you're wanting to go, so that you're not out here fumbling all around and maybe wasting your money buying parts when you're like, oh, never mind. Like, maybe I'd rather do that because, you're not always going to get sponsored right away. And honestly, like you shouldn't do it to be sponsored. Like build into our community if you want the community to build back into you. It is a give and take. So not, you can't go into this also relying on, I'm just going to be like, build my social media so I can get free stuff, because that's not how this industry works,
Exactly.
So I think a lot of it is just really have a clear idea of what this is for you. Like, what does this mean to you to do this? I think that's like the biggest thing that you need to focus on. And then I think it's a lot easier to overcome anything else that you might see because you've got drive, you've got a vision, and you've got an idea of where you want to go with this.
Yeah. And I definitely agree with that. I mean, you have to do this because you love it, not because you're looking for something else. And that kind of goes back to what you were saying, Chrissy, and me as well, is we posted something and all of a sudden it was like, oh, you discovered that there was much more to it. So, I just share because I love sharing. And,
Same.
You buy things for your Jeep and hope that those parts work out and that sort of thing. But the other things that come are good, but you've got to do it because you absolutely just you love the sport, you love the camaraderie, you love the people. So that's definitely important. All right, game time. Would you rather, okay, first one. Would you rather to get stuck in the mud or run out of gas in the desert?
Definitely the mud.
I'm going to go with the mud because that's also very familiar for me.
Wait, I thought for sure you would say the desert and the gas because I know your mud story.
Gas freaks me out. I'm not going to lie because it's almost happened in the mountains of West Virginia and it gave me so much anxiety. No, I'd rather be stuck in the mud.
In the mud. I would go with the mud too. The mud as well.
Yeah.
Okay, would you rather wheel with a broken winch or no spare tire?
No spare.
I would a spare tire, and I also have my glue thread. Yeah.
Oh yes, that is
right.
awesome. I saw you use that. That thing is cool, for sure. I'll have to go with spare tire as well. Would you? I still have mine on, but yeah,
I don't even
take
have
the winch.
mine. I don't have mine.
Yeah. Would you rather take on a Rocky Mountain trail or a deep water crossing?
Rocky Mountain.
I love deep water crossing, but I'm in time out from doing it because
time out. I completely get it. I will go with the Rocky Mountain Trail as well. Although I would love to try the deep water if I have a snorkel.
Yeah.
But that would be the only way. Okay, so community spotlight. Chrissy, tell us about your upcoming Apex Trail and what you guys are going to do.
So this weekend, our first stop on the Apex Adventure Series is at Wolf Caves, and it will be this Saturday, February 15th. We limit registers to 20 drivers per stop so that we really have a chance to like get in there and bond with you guys who wanted to come out and spend the day wheeling with us.
Love it.
We've got Obsessed Jeep Girl, Walker Texas Wrangler, and Wheeling with Patty, who are co-hosting this stop with us. We've got phenomenal sponsors, too many to probably name on this podcast. But we've really got great sponsors. We've got great driver's bags. We've got great co-hosts. And we're actually even going to be doing a stop with you, April. You are.
Yes,
you are. August.
I'm excited. I cannot wait. Yeah. So that's going to be a fun one for sure.
Really
all of them are going to be fun. I love watching where you guys stop and all the different things that you do. I know, Lily, you were with her at one last year as well.
She was our very
Um,
first one.
Yes, that's so cool. I guess that kind of brings us to the end of our podcast. Lily, you want to drive us home?
Yes, let's go. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Next episode, we are gonna be talking about Chrissy's rig. She's gonna have her own episode where she can talk about like everything she has done. So if you have any questions for her, message us and we're gonna put them here on the podcast. And you can ask about how she started. Follow me, Chrissy, and April. And yeah, let us know if you have any questions. And thank you so much for your support. And I hope you guys enjoy it.
And soon you'll be able to catch us on all the outlets, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it. So we will see you guys there.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.